Hey Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is Tina with 85th House Vibrations, and this is your general reading for team. I hope everybody is doing well. This is a general reading. It won't resonate with everybody, but I hope you are able to get something out of it. The moon is currently in Gemini, and let's see. Gemini's ruling planet Mercury has just left its shadow period today, or will be at some point on this day, which is good. So that means that the flow with Mercury and the moon should go pretty well. It's the Labor Day weekend for those of us here in the States. I can't speak to whether or not other places acknowledge a Labor Day or celebrate that. But if you do, happy Labor Day weekend. And Moon in Gemini and Mercury having picked up to full speed, hopefully this will be a good time for socializing, friendships, great conversations, definitely. All right. We are working with the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake. If we need to pull a clarifier, we'll be pulling from the Rider-Waite Tarot Pocket Deck. I am moving a little fast. I don't have as much time as I have with some of the other signs. I have a commitment. So, I apologize if these videos are a little bit shorter. We will not get around to clarifiers. All right. Capricorn, let me go ahead and say, like I said to the others, we talked about Mercury and where it is. The other big deal is Venus is going to go retrograde. It actually moves into shadow today. So now we're going to start to see these situations, these Venus related situations, slowly creep into our lives, our day-to-day activity. Venus retrograde talks about having probably past relationships come back up, old lovers, partners. And I unfortunately, for all the other signs, I did not mention that these partnerships could also be business related. Venus rules finances, how we earn our money. So this could also be about, people that you've been in business with before. Either way, if they show up, it's not a good idea to plan something long term, because this is not a long-term situation. If anything, Venus retrograding and having these situations show back up into your life is really giving you an opportunity to close chapters, fix things, clear the air, because the predominant possibility is that when Venus goes direct again, that particular partnership won't last, romantic or otherwise. The other things to try to avoid while Venus is retrograde is making extravagant purchases. You regret it once the retrograde is over. And also avoiding cosmetic procedures. If you have medically necessary procedures that need to be done in order to sustain life, of course, do that. And with Mars moving out of its shadow period next month, Mars is already direct. Mars rules knives and surgery and things like that. So even though it's still in shadow, surgeries and things like that themselves, where the body be manipulated by a sharp object, is definitely better suited for this time than it was when Mars was retrograde. But cosmetic procedures, let that be. If you can, hold off until at least after 16. All right. Capricorn, we have got the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. The Star card. And the Knight of Wands. Okay. So we've got Ace, Major Arcana, and a Court card. Yay! I'm liking these combinations. The aces are generally gifts from the universe. Swords are about communications. They're also the ultimate weapon, Capricorn. So, what's being offered to you is the ultimate weapon, and it may not be needed to hurt somebody. It's the ultimate weapon to possibly help you cut through some BS that have been out there at one point, or just be this idea that comes to you out of nowhere that's going to suit you very well, because it is a gift, and it's going to hit you like a bolt of lightning It may be something that you've been contemplating over for a while, something that you have been thinking about, worried about, and suddenly something comes to you. Some sort of new idea seems to be presented to you out of new way. Presented to you out of nowhere. An idea, some form of communication. Maybe there's a dialogue had, and there's something. The light bulb goes off. Okay. So holding up the center of the reading is Star card, the major arcana. This is I'm sorry. Let me slow down. This is the 17th major arcana, and this is a card about hope. It's about hope, vulnerability. Jeez Louise. It's about connecting earth and spirit. She's got the power. She's got the magic. This is also a soulmate card. This card is ruled by the sign of Aquarius, or rules the sign of Aquarius. Okay. The next card is the Knight of Wands. This is generally a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. The Knights are all or nothing type characters. Now, when we start to talk about court cards, which are the pages, the knights, the queens, the kings, they can either be people that we are dealing with in our lives, or they can be stages of development for ourselves. So the Knight of Wands is somebody who, he has his little hand in everything. He's got a lot of fires burning. The good news is, he can certainly be accused of doing too much, but I think that his intentions are pure. His heart is in the right place. He can get a little carried away though, but like I said, his intentions are good. He's definitely full of energy, full of spark, full of fire. And with that level of with that level of the knight having so much energy, sometimes people can get burned because he can get angry sometimes. But he's quick to anger and quick to cool off. Now it looks like he's got his eye here on the Star card. So this could be a situation with somebody could see somebody coming into their life really quickly. Now that's the thing. When we just talked about that, when we talked about the Venus retrograde, right? About somebody coming in, but then, as Venus goes direct, they're gone. Now that is the Knight of Wands. One of the classic descriptions for the Knight of Wands is he comes in quickly and he leaves just as quickly. In this case, though, I don't feel like it's malicious. It's just that he's got so many irons in the fire that he's really not able to sit still and concentrate on the one thing, but he seems to have his eye on this hope right now, or this particular person who seems to offer some sort of hope, whether that's in a romantic relationship or some other situation. If you can't figure it out, Capricorn, I think this Ace of Swords is going to afford you, like I said, that piece of information out of nowhere that helps you understand what's up with this situation. Okay, let's go ahead and clarify. I don't know that I'm going to pull for any particular card. Okay, I'm going to pull for the Ace of Swords, because if you're getting some information coming in, I'd like to see if we can get an idea of what that information might be. The Hierophant reverse is telling you to go about things differently. It's talking about breaking away from the status quo. Breaking away from the status quo, getting away from tradition, and going about things differently. With the Hierophant reversed, and this is also a major arcana, this could say that, initially, your way of going about things, the way that you think about things, the Star card being ruled by Aquarius, Aquarians are considered to be the sign that goes against the grain, a little bit rebellious. They generally are described as not going with um, going with the trends, going with what is popular. They tend to do something different. They tend to think outside the box. And that is what the Hierophant is reinforcing. To think outside the box, to go about things differently. There's something that is unorthodox about this situation, and that is that unorthodox solution or whatever it is. If there's a problem and you needed some sort of hope or something that I think that is the information that is going to come to you through the Ace of Swords, and it could be this Knight of Wands who brings it to you, because all of this talks about um, like something happening kind of suddenly, especially with the star card being ruled by Aquarius and Aquarius being ruled by Uranus as its modern ruler, and Uranus is like lightning, just like this. These are little lightning bolts you see here. So this definitely speaks to something that's happening suddenly, and that you should consider going against tradition. Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn. And actually, Aquarius is traditional ruler as Saturn as well. But Capricorn, you are kind of used to following the rules, sticking with tradition, not rocking the boat. But in the month of December, you're being told to do just that. Rock the boat, go against the grain, think outside the box, be rebellious, something different. People are not going to initially understand where you're coming from, especially with you being as even keel as you usually are. You coming up with some crazy idea or doing something different is probably going to be unsettling for some people. And that brings me to thinking that maybe if this Knight of Wands is not somebody who comes in and brings you this information, that this is just actually who you are going to be this month. All of a sudden, you got this energy, this fire, this impulse, this passion, and you just come rolling through uh, like a tornado, if that makes any sense. Okay. Well, that's the way I see it, Capricorn. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can email us in the description box below. I hope I didn't forget anything. I feel like I am. If you liked the video, I would definitely appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks, and I hope to talk to you guys again next month.